The games industry just had its richest year in history, so why did it spend this week firing people faster than ever? Studios shut down. A console giant told its own staff it was time for a reset. Stay to the end. I'll give you the one number that explains the whole mess. This is GameTech Weekly, the money behind the game. Here's what actually mattered this week. First up, Xbox, where the bill for a $69 billion shopping spree is coming due. Reports this week say a major round of layoffs is imminent, the moment Microsoft's fiscal year closes on June 30th, possibly with a studio closure attached. Asha Sharma is shaking down Xbox, and the developers are the first to get hit. Leadership reportedly walked staff through the math. Revenue down roughly $500 million over 5 years, hardware costs up several times over. Now hold that next to the price of the Activision Blizzard deal. When you spend $69 billion, every quarter turns into a referendum on whether it was worth it. And the people furthest from the spreadsheet always get the first invoice. Meanwhile, Nintendo did the opposite of panic. It went shopping for your attention. A surprise direct on June 9th dropped the original Kingdom Hearts trilogy onto Switch 2 for October 8th. A first look at Kingdom Hearts 4 and the one that broke the internet, a remake of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Looks like pure good news, but follow the money. Switch 2 has already shipped around 19.9 million units, and Nintendo itself expects sales to slow next year. When the hardware curve flattens, you lean on the back catalog to keep the cash coming. That direct wasn't a gift to fans, it was a very enjoyable revenue plan. As always, Nintendo is relying on Zelda to be the cash cow. Want to see how fast the mood can turn? Ubisoft. This week, it confirmed yet another restructuring, closing its Winnipeg and Belgrade studios, with reports of up to around 380 people affected across several sites. Ubisoft has restructured so often it's practically a quarterly tradition. The pattern never changes. Cut fixed costs today, promise quadruple A tomorrow. And the bill always lands on the people who make the games, not the executives who greenlit the misses. None of that slowed the trailer machine for a second. Summer Game Fest rolled out the heavy hitters. Final Fantasy VII, Revelation, the finale of the remake trilogy, A Surprise Until Dawn 2, and Attack on Titan 3. Genuinely exciting. Just keep the lens on. A showcase slot isn't a gift to fans, it's a billboard you cheer for. Publishers pay for that hype because attention is the cheapest customer they'll buy all year. Enjoy the reveals. Just know you're watching a sales funnel with a light show. Speaking of expensive bets, Sony's $3.7 billion bet on the Bungie acquisition is wobbling. Reports this week point to Sony scaling back the studio and the Destiny 2 teams again. Sony bought the studio back in 2022, and in only 3 years, it's trimming the team it bet the house on. The lesson for the whole industry: a giant price tag is a promise to investors, and when the live service money doesn't show up, that promise gets paid down in headcount. Bet the house, then start selling the furniture. Which brings me to the number I promised. Step back from all of it. Xbox, Ubisoft, Sony, and one paradox ties the whole week together. In 2025, this industry pulled in around $195 billion, a record. And yet, by this year's survey, about 28% of developers had lost their jobs in 2 years, a third of them in the US. Record revenue. Record layoffs. How? Because the money isn't shrinking, it's concentrating. Blockbusters and live service hits soak up the spend, platform owners chase margin, and the middle of the industry gets squeezed out. These aren't separate stories, they're one, an industry making more money than ever, run by people convinced they can't afford the teams that make it. Your number of the week, 28%, and what we're watching next week, GTA 6. Take-Two's marketing push is expected to start late June. The game is still dated for November 19th, and the company has guided to around $8.2 billion in revenue next year, largely on its back. One game carrying a whole publisher. That's the money behind the game this week. If knowing the numbers behind the news is your thing, there's a new episode every Friday, and subscribing is the one bet on this channel that always pays off. As always, wishing you the very best. See you next week.